He has a cannon. He's going to kill us all. Do something. Shoot him. 7:12 a.m. The wealthy suburb of Oakwood Hills was in total lockdown. 5 police cruisers blocked the street. A SWAT team was on standby. The HOA President, Patricia, was hiding behind a squad car, screaming that a terrorist had taken over the neighborhood. But this wasn't an invasion. And the man on the porch wasn't a terrorist. He was John, a retired master sergeant, and he was teaching Patricia a lesson she would never, ever forget. She told him his pickup truck was too big for the neighborhood. She told him to follow the rules exactly as they were written. So, he did. If you think this veteran is a legend for parking a tank to handle a bully, hit that like button right now! And if you stand with our troops against corrupt HOAs, smash subscribe. Let's see if we can get 5,000 likes for this. Act of genius revenge! To understand why a tank ended up in a driveway, we have to meet the man who put it there. John had spent 25 years in the Army. He served in Desert Storm and Afghanistan. He had seen enough noise and chaos to last a lifetime. When he retired, he didn't want to fight. He just wanted to fix up his vintage Ford F-250 and live in peace. He bought a house in a strict gated community, thinking it would be safe and quiet. But safety comes at a price. And in this neighborhood, the price was dealing with her, Patricia, the HOA president from hell. She didn't just enforce rules, she weaponized them. Patricia was a tyrant. She fined neighbors for leaving their garage doors open for more than 10 minutes. She fined a single mother because her child's chalk drawing on the sidewalk was graffiti. Everyone was terrified of her. For the first month, John flew under the radar. But then Patricia set her sights on him. It started with petty things. Fine the mucker one, $50 because his American flag was too large, according to Section 8. Fine number 2, $100 because he was changing the oil in his own driveway, which she called running an illegal mechanic shop. John paid the fines. He was a disciplined soldier. He respected authority. But Patricia mistook his discipline for weakness. The war officially began on a Tuesday morning. John found a tow notice stuck to his windshield. The glue was impossible to scrape off. Patricia claimed his personal F-250 was a commercial vehicle. Because it had heavy-duty tires, she gave him an ultimatum: get rid of that eyesore, or I will have it towed at your expense every single night. John looked at his truck. It was the first thing he bought when he returned from his last tour. It meant everything to him. But he looked at Patricia, smiled, and said, "Okay, I'll follow the rules." Patricia thought she had broken him. She thought she could bully a man who had stared down tanks in war zones. She was wrong. John sold his truck that afternoon. Patricia watched from her window, sipping wine, celebrating her victory. But John wasn't defeated. He was planning. He opened the HOA bylaws. He read every single word of the 300-page document. He found Section 4.2. He realized the list was exclusive. It listed exactly what was banned. But in law, if something isn't on the banned list, it's allowed. He called his buddy, a lawyer. He asked one question: is a demilitarized World War II tank considered a truck? The answer was no. In his state, it was registered as a historic collector's item, and the HOA rules said nothing about historic collector's items. With the money from his truck sale, plus his savings, John placed a bid on a 1945 M4 Sherman Tank. It weighed 60,000 pounds. It had armor thick enough to stop a missile. The cannon was deactivated, but the engine, a massive Ford V8, ran perfectly. Visual: a massive flatbed transporter driving down the highway at night. Transporting a tank isn't easy. He had to hire a special heavy haul team. He scheduled the delivery for 6 p.m. on a Sunday, the day Patricia always hosted her garden club brunch. Sunday morning, the neighborhood was silent, until the ground started to shake. Patricia looked out her window expecting a garbage truck. Instead, she saw the barrel of a 75mm gun turning the corner. John parked the beast. It took up the entire driveway. It blocked the view of Patricia's prize-winning roses. He turned off the engine, climbed out, and gave Patricia a polite wave. Patricia didn't wave back. She dialed 911 screaming that John had gone crazy. She told the dispatcher he had a weapon of mass destruction. The police arrived ready for a shootout. Sergeant: "Sir, step away from the vehicle. Keep your hands where I can see them." John calmly walked down the driveway, holding a binder. Not a weapon. A binder. The sergeant looked at the tank, then at the binder. Inside was the vehicle registration. Class: Historic Antiques. And next to it, a copy of the HOA bylaws. "John, officer, she banned trucks." "This isn't a truck. It's a piece of history. And according to state law, I can park it on my private property." The sergeant read the papers. He looked at Patricia, who was demanding John be arrested. A smile crept across the officer's face. "Sergeant, ma'am, he's right. It's street legal, and there's no law against owning a tank in this country." The police left, but the tank stayed. Patricia tried to issue a fine, but John's lawyer threatened to sue the HOA for harassment, pointing out that they had no rule against tanks. The story became national news. People drove by just to take selfies with the Freedom Tank. Patricia became the laughing stock of the town. She couldn't host her garden parties with a tank staring at her guests. 2 months later, she resigned as president and moved away. John kept the tank for a year, then sold it to a museum for a profit. He bought his truck back, but the legend of the tank remains. John proved that sometimes you don't need to break the rules to win. You just need to read them better than your enemy. If you enjoyed this story, click that subscribe button right now. And check out this next video about a veteran who sued his HOA for $5 million. You won't believe the courtroom drama. Click here to watch.